Hey, well, today we talk about good reasons you can't commute to work. One, too far. I mean, you could get an e-bike. Those things are great for you got a long commute. Or it's super dangerous. Super dangerous. What if you worked at the airport? You ever been to the airport? Yeah, you're probably not commuting on bike to the airport, but there might be some airports you could do it. I know some of the ones I've been to is like just crazy, getting on off ramps and all that. That's just probably not going to happen unless you know a shortcut, a little trail. You check Google Maps and say, oh look, a little trail. I can sneak in this way, and boom, I'm there. Some of you could have commute. You could have a place to park. You could just park, lock up, and then like people take you to New York, from New Jersey to New York, they park, they get on the subway and they go into New York. Nobody drives in New York. If they do, they got dents in their car. Some of you have been to New York. So, and if you look on Google, you can see cities that are not safe for bikers, that need a lot of work. But as congestion continues and everyone's got cars, and the cars get more expensive, and the new generation, they're looking at cars like, I'll take an Uber, But I was going by a school, and it was amazing to me. Saw the kids out there playing. I was like, junior high or something. And I was looking at them like they're not like the kids when I was young. You had a couple heavy-set kids and a couple skinny kids, and, one or two jocks like that. But you're looking, there are a lot more heavy-set kids that sit around, they look at their phones, and they're not going out exercising. When I was younger, you go to the beach and everyone had worked out, got in shape. Not me, but I was always pretty skinny. I mean, beanpole skinny, not a good skinny. And you would see a few heavy-set people. You get a little older. We all get a little older. We get a little heavier. But this is, back to commuting in health. Commuting to work is healthy. There's a hurricane coming. You're not riding your bike to work, okay? You're going to take a bus. You're going to take a taxi. You're going to Uber it, Lyft it, get a ride with a friend or coworker. Call in sick. Yeah, I said it. Call in sick. In some seasons, in some parts of the world, if you got rainy seasons, you got to dress for the rain. Get a change of clothes, especially those socks and shoes. Have clothes at work. Have a little bag, a little backpack you leave. Tuck under the desk or something. And change it out every weekend. Maybe Friday's your day to take the stuff home, and Monday's your day to bring the stuff in, or something like that, or Tuesday, Thursday. Whatever's good for you, whatever works for you. Maybe you're not 100% on the bike, and maybe you can get partially somewhere on a bike, and you get an older bike, and no one's going to want to steal it, but you double lock it. Some of you have seen my double lock techniques on some of my videos. With a 4.25 or so chain lock, has a little combination on it. It's not a super duper grade A lock. A D lock would be super duper grade A, like the New York kryptonite lock. That'd be good. But any lock can be picked, any lock can be cut through with an angle grinder, just given the time and resources. Double locks make it a little tougher. And it slows them up, and they get distracted, and they're like, I don't want to do that one. Let me do the one next to it with the crappy cable lock on it. That's the one you get. So, other great reasons not to go to work, you're sick. You're not that sick, but you're like, I just can't do it. I can't ride. You take a car, taxi, or the usual stuff, whatever you got. If you already got a car, great. If you can't afford the car, it broke, you can't fix it, you get you a bike, get use one to start. Just something with the brakes working, the chain looped, pump up the tires, and you can get a better bike later if you want to. No big deal. But just get out there if you can and do it. And get halfway. I mean, there are places on bike trails that you can find on Google Maps that have bathrooms and places where people park their cars and kids get out and jog and meet, jogging teams for school meet, different things like that. There's like off trails. Ooh, let's go on some bumpies. Here on the car coming in and out. I want to go the other way. See, I need a gravel bike. I got big tires on this thing. But it's made primarily for cyclists or a place to stop and walk. A lot of people have places they can stop on these trails. They park their car and they power walk up and down the trail. And that's great. A lot of trails are near interstates. If you found a nice safe place you can park your car, I can park here, ride my bike in the rest of the way. Think of the people in New Jersey that drive into New York City, right? We said that. They take the subway. Like I said earlier, you got dents on all the cars in New York City. You get a couple people with flashy cars, but they're going to get a dent in them someday. You know? And there are bike commuters in New York. There's a plane coming in. Cool. So, sickness, surgery, I had my gallbladder out. I didn't bike for a while. I finally got around to walking around the block when I asked him how. My question was, when can I start walking around the block again? And he gave me a time for that, and I said, okay, I'll go with your time. And I took a walk around the block, one block, just around to stay close to home. I could cut through a neighbor's yard and hit the back of the house if I needed to. One of those kind of walk around the blocks. And it was fine. Made my walk. Next day, a little bit further. Next day, a little bit further. You know, took my time, got better, got on the bike. Let's try this out. Went down the driveway. And gallbladder, you know, that's on your belly. Went over that little bump at the end of the driveway, you know, that little, like that. And I went, oh, that hurt. Hadn't even started yet. Hurt. So I went around the block, like my walk. Just sit there, I biked. And the next day, stood up, bent my knees a little bit as I hit the bump. Good. And a little further. And you just build up to it. And, you know, and I know a lot of you that have to go to the airport and have to travel and have to meet clients and all that stuff, you got to have a car, right? You might have to lease a car. That's an option a lot of people that have to travel all the time do. Lease. Look into that. And if your clients see the car, it has to be somewhat clean and kept together. If they ride in the car with you, it has to be even more kept together and clean. So cars are essential for some people in some jobs. If you have to go to the airport and fly here and go to the airport and fly there, you know, you're doing what you got to do. They do make those foldy bikes with the little tires that fold up like a suitcase. And you could almost travel to work. You do park somewhere and ride the rest of the way in on one of those little bikes because you can keep it in the trunk or the back seat. They are options. I mean, you know, there's tons of options. When you got a lot of traffic, look at Google Maps. There might be a side street that's not so busy. You take the side street in. You take the park over there and then back on the side street and then down the sidewalk. And you know, if it's illegal to ride on the sidewalk, you'll have to get in traffic, or maybe they have the painted bike lane, but some of those are dangerous even for the professionals. They're looking like, I ain't riding in that lane. There's too many fast moving cars and trucks. No, that's crazy bike lane. And I was on one of those one time. I was like, this is stupid. A bike lane next to these big semi trucks? No, I ain't doing this again. Not if I don't have to. So look at your situation. What can you do? Are you physically fit enough to ride the bike? You know, start walking, man. Cut out salt, sugars. Sorry. Yes, your food's not going to taste good. I'm sorry. That's life. Welcome to gray hair. Welcome to the doctor telling you no. No, no, no. Cut back on the salt. Don't add salt. Don't throw in sea salt saying, well, there's more minerals in sea salt, so it's a little better for you. It's still salt, okay? It's still salt. A lot of foods already contain salt. Look at the packaging. It says sodium. That's salt. And that sodium means there's some salt in it already. TV dinners. You know, you can get some of those Amy's dinners or healthy choice dinners. There's less salt, but you can look like less. I don't look that much less. You get a pizza every once in a while. Look at that. Yeah. So the ones, you know, at Domino's and stuff, at least they're being made somewhat fresh. They're not being overly salted to be stored forever. Till the Jurassic period, till now, you know, that kind of thing. It's just crazy. They load those with salt to keep it, or what is it, potassium? It has no salt, but it's got so much potassium in it, you're like, really? Is that good for me? And a lot of people with kidney disease are like, no. And a lot of people that get high blood pressure mess their kidneys up and don't realize it and have to get checked. Blood, that's what blood works for. And tell you to, hey, cut back the salts, cut back the sugars, cut back on starch, cut back on carbohydrates. You know, whatever the doctor's saying or whatever you're Googling, you know, don't trust the Google, but it's a reference. It's a reference. And you can use it for your health and getting to work, saving the money. Because if you stay healthy, your insurance won't have to kick in every 10 minutes and they'll keep raising your rates. So you got to make it to retirement age. You know, I mean, I got my gallbladder out before I was 65. It kicked up and got me then. I got a hernia before that. And you're like, really? You know, I thought I'd make it to 70 before I had to retire. I had to do it at 65. I was like, crap. But I'm stronger now. Stronger than I was. I've walked. I wish you to be stronger. Commute to work. You know, walk to work if you live close enough. Shoot. Take an umbrella. But there are clothes and hacks on YouTube all over the place for rainy weather. You know, you take a different kind of bike than the fun bike that you would ride on the weekend if you have resources to have an extra bike. Or if you're going to the store. My bike's more of a slight cargo, improvised bike, and I can go to the store and get a couple things. Now, if I go to the store with my wife, I get my walking in. You guys know what I mean. They go up and down every aisle, just to see if they missed anything, and throw in more stuff to make sure that bill at Publix, that you don't want to go to Publix every time because they're too expensive. You want to go to Walmart, Marketplace, or Aldi or someplace and save a lot of money. But there's certain things Publix has, and the wife goes to Publix every once in a while because I gotta have this and I gotta have that, and you come out spending $100 because we walked every aisle, and then we've gone back to those first 2 or 3 aisles that we were from one side of the store to the next side of the store, and logically in your head you're like, well, we need to finish with the frozen stuff so we can get home real quick. Do that last. Cold stuff and frozen stuff. And you're almost there. Get a couple cold things and frozen things, and it's back to the beginning of the store again. Oh, we need grapes. Way over there in produce. We need this. Cranberry juice. Yes. Way over there in produce. Back in that area. Aisle 1. That's where it was. I was like, oh my gosh. So I found no sugar cranberry juice. That's good to have diet, no sugar. You know, you can water it down a little bit. You get your little glass, take your vitamins or whatever you got to take. Medicines or whatever in the morning. You just leave your glass out, put your stuff out. And the pills allow you to out in the light. You can leave them out in the light for the day is not going to harm them. That's fine. You leave them out to remind you, fill that glass up. put the little cranberry juice in there. Put a little water in first, dilute it down. If you've read online that you're not supposed to have a lot of juices with, like kidney diseases or anything like that, or you're worried about sugar in that cranberry juice or orange juice. You're like, yeah, that's got a lot of sugar in it. Let me just water it down. Because when you get older, it's not about the taste. I know you love the taste. I know there'll be times when you go out with your friends to get dinner, and yes, the trick is get the unsweet tea and a glass of water at dinner. Okay? Here's your hack. Because that way you don't spend your time going, hey waitress, I need more tea. Hey, and the waitress might go and walk away. You'll be like, no. I need something. That's why I was waving. I wasn't waving to say hello. I had that happen in real life, that's what I'm telling you. But if you get the water with the unsweet tea, then the odds are you're not going to run out. Because you got water to drink and you got unsweet tea, or you got 2 waters or whatever. You're going to keep going. And everyone else is going to be waiting for the waitress to, could I get this or that? And you're like, yeah, we got dessert at home. Sometimes we go out with friends. We got one lady in the group that's like 90. She always wants to stop at the ice cream store. And all of us, we're like, I'm supposed to have a lot of sugar. Great, I'll get the ice cream. And you end up getting some ice cream that's at least get a single scoop serve. Okay, just a single scoop. Don't get 2. At least think about it. Get the healthy version if there's whatever's your thing. You can always just get a vanilla and say, what's got the lowest sugar? I'll take that. It's still good. It's still better than no ice cream. Yeah, that's the secret. And I always get it in the cup, so it's just easier to handle. It's having a cone's great if you're walking around, but in Florida, sometimes it's warm and it starts melting right away, and dribbly, you have to be outside. And I'm just sitting there eating my cup, watching everybody fight their ice cream. Oh yeah, that's good. And you still have to worry about a drip from the spoon. So there are tons of good health, physical reasons, dangerous reasons not to bike commute, but at least commuting. They recommend 120 hours of some kind of walking and biking or rollerblading or some kind of exercise a week. And you can calculate that in, ride my bike to work. That's exercise. Take my time, have the change of clothes. If I get a little sweaty, get the little wipes. Watch some other YouTube videos. Get your little baby wipes under the arms, put a little deodorant on, change it a little bit in the bathroom. If you have a place to shower, you can shower when you get in. You can have a hard ride then. But usually you save the last, get a little fitness in for the end of the ride, on the way home. That's the way to do it. So, you do what's best for you, for your health, your distance. But the money savings, it's getting to a point now where cars are way too expensive. People are getting used cars, leased cars. They're making these deals, longer terms on you, and you can make payments. And then you got to pay insurance, and then you got to pay taxes, and then you got to get it fixed. You get the oil changed. It's expensive. And if you're lucky to be near a place to work, it depends on what you do. You work in the city, it's going to be a little bit tougher commute, or you could ride part way, lock up your old bike, like a gravel bike. Gravel bikes are neat for you got the little bar across, straight bar. You don't have to look real impressive. That's the biggest thing. You want it to look kind of and you want to park next to the one that is impressive with the cable lock on. They can steal that. And if anyone ever stole your bike, it wasn't that big a deal anyway, because you got it to Goodwill or someplace. Or it was your old gravel bike. Because there's nothing you can do about it. You can call Lyft or Uber that day and get you a little trip to the bike store or Goodwill on your way home and pick up another bike. Because they ain't gonna find it. Unless you're, it could be a homeless person, they could be in the area. You could drive around with a friend, put an air tag on it, tile on it. But it's not that big a deal if it only cost, a couple hundred, and your car would have cost thousands to replace, and the aggravation of doing all that. So another benefit, all the money you're saving. You're making money in the economy the way it is, and jobs are getting harder to find. Google the jobs that you can do near you if you're out of work. What can you do? What 2 jobs can you do? And still bike in. I know it's tough if it starts raining and you're like, let me put on my rain gear, do the best I can and get home and strip down and shake it off. And in Florida, in the summertime, it rains at night all the time. All the time. You can count on it. And I've seen YouTube videos of people with goggles on, little ski goggles, the ski goggles or the little goggles you wear when you're swimming, just for the rain, so they can kind of see a little bit without water jumping in their eye. I said, that's cool. That's kind of a neat thing. And they got the little helmets and things. And they make ponchos, like great ponchos. The Shifter channel did a review of all the different ponchos for rain, and he talked about them. They get inside the little poncho area that kind of covers you up. They have little hand grips, so you can grip the poncho to hold it down while you're holding the handlebar. I said, well, that's smart, because they made it for bikes. So I thought that's a neat idea. And you throw in some water-resistant pants that have the little elastic on the bottom, and you get some shoes that are, I'm not saying use Crocs, that's probably kind of not stable, but something you could just kind of let air out. And you change your socks, and you air them out, and you go into work, and you're good to go. So it'll take time, it'll take a little practice, but you'll get it down to a science where everyone looks at you like, what do you do if you do this? Well, I just do that. Well, what happens if this happens? Well, I just do that. You'll get to that point where you're getting really good. Well, I've been going to the grocery store forever, or months. I would call that for not forever, months. Got the bike. I'd gone on a used bike a little bit, but I didn't have a lot of the gear and baskets and stuff. I could pick up little things, just bring them back. But I wanted to get some racks and maybe a pannier, and I ended up with watching videos and getting a real milk crate. I had a cheap plastic when I drilled holes into how kind of anchor it with bungee cords to the rack, and that wiggled around too much. And I was, let me get how do I get a real milk crate without taking one? One of the people online said, well, at least they're free. And I was like, no, everyone's got a camera now. You can't just go get a milk crate at the back of a store free. So I ordered one on Amazon, because I'd seen the one at the office store, and that was crap. It was cheap. It would do, and you got to do it. It'd be fine. But I wanted a hard, solid one. And then I got a little thermos when I was at the Walmart marketplace. And I threw the milk inside the thermos, and it fit. And I went, oh, this is good. This looks about the right size for a milk crate. And I had the milk crate strapped down, zip strips, thicker zip strips, onto the rack. And I put it in. It got in there, it fit. Put some stuff that I need for biking, things they say you should have, a little pump and a tube and things like that, kind of on each side. And was good to go. And recently I just discovered I could switch it around where I could load it from the back in, straight in this way, because I was loading it on one side. So I'd go on the side where the kickstand was, and it was tilted down, and I would load it that way. And that worked fine. But then I realized if I pulled on that heavy duty milk crate, it would bend a little bit, and I could shove that little cooler in just a little bit better in the middle, and flip it up from the very back and open it, and have my cargo, little elastic bungee-like net over the whole thing. And I got a second one of those because I realized bringing toilet paper and paper towels home, you need something. 2 of them together would help hold all that down. Well, I took my little safe ride home. So And I'm still a sucker for having a drink right where I can get it. And I do have a drink thing down here. I forgot to bring it today. Don't forget your water. But I stopped for lunch at McDonald's. My wife was out. So she's getting work done on the car. And I'm gonna run to McDonald's and get a drink. Hello. I'm just riding around in circles in the back of the Target. Greatest place in the world to get your laps now. Just the back of on these big stores. You got one near you. You just ride in circles. Get in some time, get in the exercise you want. Might stop at Target now and just, yeah, let's go look around, see what they got. Loiter in the Target. Maybe you could pick up a little drink. I got my ice, I got a refill of ice. The guy looked at me like, ice now? I said, yeah, about half full. It'll melt. And I've been walking and talking to you guys. And look, it melted. I got ice water. And if I buy a little drink in the store, whether it's one of those little glass Starbucks things or whatever, I could pour it in here and have a cold drink. Because sometimes those things aren't in the little freezer area. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. So let's make a stop. I wish you well. I hope you can commute in, but if you can't, for health or dangerous areas or different, you got to have alternatives for days you can't commute too. Got to have a way in. Some people have gotten rid of their cars. A lot of people online, you can watch their videos. They're great at talking about, Shifter is great at talking about commuting by bike because he's in Canada. That's ice and snow weather. And he still gets out and bikes. And he talks about how to do it. Definitely Shifter, Shifter, YouTube. Watch his videos on it. Everything you need to know is there. And I'm at the Target. So I'm going to park and lock up. They got bike racks here. So let's park and lock up. Alrighty, yay! Made it. Whew. Made it. Lived. Take the little glove off. Now some of you were worried about using your bike lock to lock the strap of the helmet. And I've done it before, but I'm not too worried about my helmet getting stolen, I'm just like, well, it's all right. So, have a good day.